I love my husband, but I don't trust my husband, and he knows that. Every man is one stupid mistake away from exploding his whole life.
Trusting a man is like trusting a pit bull around your kids.
He wants to start a business, and he convinces you to invest in his business.
Right.
All right, so tell me how that happened.
He wanted to acquire this business, this cosmetic surgery center. He wanted to acquire the business, needed a lot of money to invest it, emptied out my 401k, did all of that. So he had actually conned another woman prior to me where he got all this money from that person.
Y'all, this story right here, this, I'm sure you guys heard of Sharisa Jackson. This is like the perfect encapsulation of kind of like all the things that we discuss as far as like the levels of manipulation that women face by dealing with men. Like I like literally just right now got off a live talking about how manipulative men are, and like men were crashing out on me and was like, you always putting everything on men. And I'm like, yeah, like not everything is a man's fault, but like men are really manipulative. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, it's just a reality. I'm sorry if that fucking upsets you, but it is what it is. Stop being so manipulative. You know what I mean? But this story right here is so crazy, dude.
I love my husband, but I don't trust my husband, and he knows that. Every man is one stupid mistake away from exploding his whole life.
Don't you think that every woman is also one stupid mistake?
I think we cheat, but we meant to do it. Like, we'll have premeditated affairs. We've already been in love with him for 18 months. I think a respectable husband and father can leave the house one day with good intentions.
And meet a brand new person they didn't know existed.
Slip into a sex worker, like I just don't trust them, any of them.
Interesting.
I think 20 years from now, having a dick will qualify you for disability insurance. I'm in a good marriage. I don't know how I landed on that. And I tell people I'm in my 5th and final year of marriage. My husband goes, are you? Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of men think that that's crazy and that sounds stupid and all of that stuff, but it's how can we expect women to ever trust us? Like, as a group, I'm saying, right? You just like trusting a man is like trusting a pit bull around your kids. Like, yeah, yes, I know some lovely pit bulls. They're really nice. They're really gentle. They've never bit anybody. And they say there's no such thing as a bad dog, just bad owners and blah, 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 blah. But are you going, why wouldn't you treat every man like a loaded gun, right? You treat every gun like it's a loaded gun. Treat every man like you treat a loaded gun. Like you handle them with caution. You never trust that at any point in time, they cannot explode on you. No, no, you know what I mean? Like, not sexually. Like, you treat men with the reverence that we deserve, and we deserve it. We deserve it as a group, and I don't mind it as a man. I don't care if my wife doesn't trust me, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, women are really good in compartmentalizing that. There are very few times that would ever weigh on my relationship in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's a guy's trip to Vegas or something like that, which I haven't been on in 20 years, but like, maybe it's something like that, right? But like beyond that, on the daily, that shit will never crop, it'll never come up. So I'm not really worried about if my wife doesn't trust me or not. That's fine. I got to prove myself to that woman every single day, blah, 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 blah. Not only because, I've let her down in the past, but also just because I'm a fucking man. And I don't mind that. I don't mind it. I swear to God, like, it doesn't bother me one bit. Because she doesn't treat me any different, if that makes sense. She doesn't love me any less. She doesn't hunch me any less. She doesn't take care of me any, like, she treats me exactly the same. It's just the caveat of, I always got one eye on him. Fuck it. I can accept that, right? But let's watch this story, because this shit is so crazy, man. It's so wild.
Man that you connected with, you actually went to high school with him.
Right. Well, he was a senior when I was a freshman.
But did you guys know each other?
We knew each other, but we didn't know each other. Like,
okay.
It's just around.
But there's still some type of like familiarity, right, when you're like, okay, we went to the same high school, we know each other. So how did he approach you on Facebook? Because you said you feel like you were targeted.
Well, I mean, he approached me as any other person would. He reached out. He was just like, hey, I like to have lunch with you when I come down there. He's told me he was living in Florida. I mean, he was living in Georgia at the time. And he finished his message with, when you have a minute, put me in it. And then he put Dr. Wilkerson.
Okay, he's a doctor.
I was like, okay. All right, And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll let you know. But then, years passed by. He had reached out to me since like 2009. We really didn't connect until 2014.
Okay. So he came out to see you, or he was saying he was in town, or how did...
I actually went up there for a business trip.
Okay.
And I told him, hey, I'd be in town, we can do lunch. And it's so funny now because honestly, I'm so over it, Angela. It's like, it's sad when you think about it, but he picked me up in this very nice Bentley from my hotel.
Okay.
Found out later it wasn't his, but he picked me up in this nice Bentley, really, lavish, took me to his loft to change, came to pick me up in hospital scrubs, by the way.
Oh, because he's a doctor.
He's a doctor. Yeah. He's a medical doctor. He's an MD. He works for Emory Hospital. So he picked me up in his scrubs, said he had to go to the house to change, took me to this 30th floor condo that I found out wasn't in his name. Changed, we went out, took me out for a night on the town. We had fun. And that was that. I went back home.
You're thinking he's matching my success. Like, I'm a successful homeowner, mother, business person. And now here comes this man. He's a doctor. He's helping
Seems like
people.
He has his stuff together.
Has his stuff together.
Has a heart of gold, it seemed like. But when I go back and look at my social media, and this is something we have to be careful with certain things that we, put out there, because people are watching and they will use certain things against you. But on my social media, I'm out there feeding the homeless. I'm out there, and you want to show that you're helping and you're giving back.
It also inspires other people who want to do the same thing.
But then you have these people that are targeting you, and it's kind of like everything that I was, he mirrored.
Okay.
So it was just like, oh my God.
But that's a shame, Shariza, because I don't want you to feel like you can't still be who you are because you don't know who, you know what I'm saying? Because I think sometimes we blame ourselves because you're like, man, even right now, you're like, well, I got to watch what I put on social media. Yeah. No, like this guy was maniacal in doing the things that he did. It's not anything that you did wrong. You're living your life really being who you are. It's not your fault that other people don't do the same thing.
Right. And that's true. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because, I'm the person that always says, like, why as Black women, we got to be humble.
Right.
Why we always got to be humble? Why can't we show who we are in real life? And that's who we are. We always are dumbing ourselves down.
Downplaying our accomplishments, downplaying the things that we're doing in the community. Because we don't want to seem like, we're
we
bragging.
Think we all that, and it's crazy. Like, and you basically just kind of took me back full circle to...
The reason why women can't do that is because men shame women all the time and tell them that we don't care about your accomplishments. Your accomplishments don't mean anything to me. Don't nobody want no accomplished woman. Don't nobody want no woman with your degrees. Nobody want no woman helping out the community. Like that, that's what, it's all a manipulation tactic. So to Angela Yee's point, absolutely, share it loud and proudly. You know what I mean? Like I love seeing women posting that they got degrees and they put themselves through law school. Like I just watched a video today of a young woman, and she was talking about how she had got into it with her baby daddy, and she hadn't talked to him in 2 years, and she was like, yeah, because he said something to the effect that like she needs to move on or whatever, and she was like, what makes you think I haven't moved on? I literally, since we've been not together, I have put myself through law school, right? Like she got her degree, she got her undergrad. Then she put herself through law school. And then she passed the bar, and she is now a practicing attorney. And she's like, what makes you think I haven't moved on? If that ain't moving on, what is? She's grown so much. But to him, he don't care about that because he only thinks that moving on is her being with another man. And she's like, I don't care about that.
Me practicing what I preach, right? Because, it's the truth. We do dumb down ourselves and we don't want to show certain things because we act like we don't want to, show off.
Right.
But it's like, no,
but if
this
it's
is who
reality,
we are.
it's
This
reality.
Is what we're doing.
And you worked hard to get to that.
Right.
Imagine being a teen mom. Some people feel like that's such a handicap. And the truth is that's a superpower in the way that you've been able to handle yourself. Because you think about like a lot of stuff that you do, you're doing to make sure that you're providing a great example and a better life for your children.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. So now let's get to when things got more serious.
Between the two of us. Okay, so he decided that for whatever reason, he wanted to be exclusive. He wanted to move to Florida. He just wanted to be, with me. I had all the characteristics of the women he was dating. Now, here's another thing about narcissism and narcissists. They play on your intelligence and they really listen to everything that you say and do. They listen. They're very intelligent. And I even told the police department when I was trying to report him, I said, listen, this man is dangerously clever. I mean, dangerously clever. So he basically said that he was dating several women. He told me that, but he was just dating several women. So now you're looking at this person like, you're honest. Wow. You're
he
honest.
told the truth.
I'm dating several women. I date one for this reason, one for that reason, one for this reason. But I found someone that carries all the characteristics that these people have. And I want to be exclusive. I want to be with you. I want to move to Florida. And I'm thinking, okay, you're in Atlanta, you're a successful doctor, you're in Emory. Now I can work from anywhere, my company, I can be remote. So I'm thinking I'm going to be moving to Georgia if we're, going to get married and be serious. No, he said he wanted to move to Florida. But I later found out that he was running from Georgia.
Oh, he had to leave.
He had to leave. He was pushed out of Georgia.
So were you posting him on social media?
No.
And see, that's the thing, because if you would have, right? Or if he would have posted you, then there could have been somebody that alerted you, like, sis, watch out.
Yeah.
Because
I wonder if there was like an app out there where like women could like post men and then like see if women have like dated this man and what their experiences were for that man. I wonder if there's an app like that out there. I feel like there is, and like I think men like really get upset at that. Like men like the man that she's describing. I bet you he hates that app if that app exists, right?
X, Y, and Z happened. All right, so he moves.
He moves to Florida.
He moves to Florida.
I didn't post him until we got engaged. Until after we got engaged, and we had already set the wedding date. And
your daughters loved him. Though he was amazing and he was doing all the right things. And so he opened up a business when he got there because he was a quote unquote doctor, even though there's no record.
He's an epidemiologist that worked for the CDC, that traveled with the CDC. I mean, this dude has like recordings and videos of himself saying he went to Morehouse School of Medicine. Like, you're literally saying this stuff on social media. I pulled him up and he came up on LinkedIn and Google and different things, but he had made himself look so good. His reputation.
Let me tell you something. When I watched some of these, I was watching one of these documentaries. It was like a crypto scam that someone was doing. And they basically they made up a random profile on LinkedIn. The person that went to Princeton, they just will make up because you could put anything on LinkedIn. Who is vetting that out?
Right.
And so somebody will go to search you and they see your LinkedIn and they think it's real. Like, oh, this person went to Harvard. This person went to Princeton. These are the accolades that they have. If somebody's not checking and verifying that, it's so easy to make it seem like.
And then you're thinking this person would not be all on social media saying these things about himself if it's not true, because you're not thinking like
you're not thinking somebody's about to con me.
Right. You're
and
not
somebody that went to your high
way.
school.
Right.
All right. So now fast forward, he wants to start a business and he convinces you to invest in his business.
Right.
All right. So tell me how that happened.
So he basically, we're getting married now. We're an item. We're going to be one. Right. So, he wanted to acquire this business, this cosmetic surgery center. He wanted to acquire the business, needed a lot of money to invest it, emptied out my 401k, did all of that, sold my home, put some of that towards that.
See,
everything.
Right. All right, couple of things here. I want to ask you this because this is so disgusting to me that he would do something like this. When he came to he moved in with you.
Moved into my home.
Moved into your home. Was he investing money also into this business?
Yeah. So he had some money,
some funds. Okay.
I found out later that the funds that he had, because it seemed like, okay, he's doing pretty good. He said he worked for the CDC. They pay him every 45 days. Like, this is the story. As I go back and I talk to other women and other victims, it's the same story. Like, we're literally laughing, sharing the same story that he's saying. But he had actually conned another woman prior to me, where he got all this money from that person. So and now he has this money to kind of spend on me, to buy engagement rings and do different things, because you took this money from this person.
This dude was a real life blood-sucking leech. A real life blood-sucking leech. And I'm trying to figure out for the life of me, listening to her story, at what point could somebody say she should have vetted better? Like, I'm listening to it right now and I'm trying to figure out at what point does the man, that was a red flag. Man, you should have saw that, man. She checked his LinkedIn. She I don't know if she ran a background check. Look, man, y'all can say what the way that I look at vetting is it has to be within reason. It has to be within the confines of what most people do, men or women, by the way. Because I've never known a man to run a background check on a woman. Never. Not any of my friends. I'm no men that do it, but I'm saying, like, I've never known a man to meet a woman and feel like I need to run. It's something off about her. I think I need to run a background check on her. Not one man, right? Some women, they probably need to run a background check on these niggas, but most women don't either. Most women don't run background checks on me. So, like, none, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be within reason for me to be like, you should have known better, sis. And I'm not hearing that right now. It seems like a normal, like, why would she have a reason not to believe him so far? Let me see your paycheck stubs. Like, I don't know how realistic the vetting is for y'all. Because I think people online like to say crazy shit, but y'all never did that before. You never done that before. Like, let's be fucking for real.
All right, so now you empty out your 401k. And I want to say, for anybody listening, any man that would convince you to do those things and take those risks, like,
yeah, no,
yeah, that is
it's a red flag.
Y'all got to figure out another way. Like, we taking out a line of credit, or there's other ways. And so, yeah, because I do feel like also for people listening, like, let this be like, this should raise some suspicion because you went through it. So now you know in hindsight, right, what it is.
And you know what, Angela, what I want to say is, because you'll have people, you got the people out there, oh, that'll never happen to me.
Until it happens.
Yeah. Because your girl feel like she real smart. You know what I mean?
I want to say, because I worked on a whole documentary with Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives, where she got kind of, and I just remember people on social media when I interviewed her, and it was during the pandemic, calling her dumb, saying this, and the shame that you put on somebody who is the person that is actually a victim of someone who is a terrible human being, right? That, like, it's so backwards to me that we're attacking the person who actually had the good heart, who thought they found somebody who was in love, instead of the person who is the con artist.
Right.
That just goes to show you how narcissistic men are, because I'm sure women do that too. Don't get me wrong, but, like, generally speaking, most women don't do that. But the men will really sit up here and be on some, like, oh, that's on you, sis. You should have chose better. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? As opposed to being like, that dude should have never been like that. And that's all I be saying. Like, I don't know why that's so hard to, like, I do know why that's hard to accept, because they know it's the truth, but they don't want to take accountability for their actions, right? It's all about manipulation. So of course they're going to put the ball back in the woman's court and be like, oh, it's on you to decipher and determine if I'm a good person, not on me to just be a good person and have fucking integrity, right? But you just see how narcissistic men are, because in general, men will easily put that on a woman. Like, well, you married him. You signed up for it, blah, 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 blah. Like, and I'm like, what? Like, come on, bro. That's crazy. Like, what did she do wrong? You can't even say she did anything wrong, because she didn't hurt anybody. She was hurt. So what did she do wrong again?
Like, why is it? And that's what makes people,
the villain
sometimes
becomes the hero.
That's what makes people sometimes nervous to come forward to want to tell their stories, because you feel dumb.
Right. And the thing is, with me, it was the opposite. It was the opposite, because I build my brand off of transparency. I talk about me being a teen mom. I talk about me having $5 to my name, putting it in an offering plate, and then got an $8,000 return on investment just for having faith. So I talk about my downfalls. I talk about losing. I talk about, my daughter's father being murdered when I was 5 months pregnant. I talk about so much. So now it's like, oh, you're going to F around and find out.
Yeah.
Because what he said to me, knowing that I'm an author, knowing that I go around and do public speaking and do different things, and that I have mentees, people that really look up to me, women, what he said to me is that you're not going to file for a divorce. You're too worried about your reputation.
Your image. He thought that was going to be,
he said.
That he thought your image and concern about that was going to protect him.
Right.
Was it ever a thought to you?
I was ashamed, Angela. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I was ashamed. I was hurt. I was mad at myself for a little bit
Mhm.
because I'm like, how could you go back thinking what you could have done. But at the end of the day, what I had to come to grips with is that you did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You cared
Trusted
about the
someone.
wrong person. You trusted the wrong person. I was literally sleeping with the enemy. I was literally sleeping next to this man every night
In love.
and giving myself to this person. So it's embarrassing to have to come out and say, this is what happened to me, or this is the reason for the divorce, or this man isn't even who he said he was.
So tell me what it was like for you now when did you find out? And what was that like when you got like, I don't know if it was like that first message you got where somebody tried to alert you, but tell me when you started realizing and when things started unraveling.
So I can say that people did reach out to me, prior, like during the marriage. And I'm not going to say people because they would come on fake pages, but he was so good at like right now, you're portraying yourself as a pastor.
Right.
So, but
right
he was
now, by
right
the way,
now,
one more
as
time.
we speak,
Right now,
as we speak, he is pastor, Dr. Dorian Wilkerson.
It's crazy. Okay.
So you gain the trust of people, and he had, when I tell you the gift to gab, like if you only use that for good as opposed to evil, you would have been so successful in life. But he knows how to, if I'm like, well, this person said this, like, oh, let me respond, or I'll respond to them, or this person is saying this, but he's like, remember I told you. And he did. He said, listen, a lot of women are going to be upset that we're getting married.
Right, because he was dating several women.
Right.
Well,
so he
yeah.
set it up.
Yeah.
Like, dude was
Okay.
good. People going to be upset. They
laid down
probably
the
going to come
groundwork.
after you. They're going to say things that are not true. He made that very clear. So now I'm like, okay. So when it did come, it's kind of like, okay,
I knew
this is what
was
it
gonna
is.
happen. Yeah.
And then, you're reaching out to me from fake pages. One person actually said, who they were, but it was more so, oh, he's no good. He's not this person. He's
Right.
not that person.
These are scorned women.
Right.
In
So
other
that's
words,
what
he
it
made
looks
it feel
like.
like, yeah, these women are just going to be upset. They're jealous.
Yeah.
You have what they want.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So he was just so good. I mean, he's very good. I mean,
did he
laying
change his
hands
name
on the
or
whole
did he?
No.
And then when it all started to unravel for him.
I can fall up in field position, or I can fight like the warrior that I am.
But when did you realize? Like, what did it take for you to finally be like,
I'm done?
Yeah.
Well, I want to say it was like an article, because a tragedy happened at the center back in like 2021. And later they started, asking questions and investigating. And it was an article. And I reached out to the editor the person that wrote the article, asking to meet with them and asking, like, what are you hearing? What did you find? Because I read this article that says this person never even had a medical license in Georgia, as he told me. This person is not who he said he is. So I was like, well, I just did a search in Georgia, and he kind of telling me things. So long story short, when I had the opportunity, I wrote a book. I wrote the book. The book became like, very, like a great seller. Successful women get played to. Mastering the art of owning your ish, keeping your ish. Can I curse on
Yeah,
here?
go ahead, please.
Okay.
You deserve it.
Successful women get played to mastering the art of owning your shit, keeping your shit, and keeping it moving. So it was basically about my story. I talked about what it happened to me. And when I wrote the book, it was more so therapy for me, because a lot of things that had happened after I wrote the book, it's not in the book.
Right, because it happened after.
So it happened after. But this when I wrote the book, it kind of alerted certain people. And with the Netflix docuseries, I met Cecilia. I met the PI.
Cecilia from the Tinder Swindler.
Right, from the Tinder Swindler. And the PI, because, they're looking at my story. It became global. Daily Mail did an article on it.
I saw the Daily Mail article.
So they saw it, and I'm just like, I don't know who this person is, and I just need clarification. So that's when Brianne came in, the PI. Awesome, Brianne, Cecilia. I mean, when I tell you they're awesome, but really have the passion to get justice for people of romance fraud. So they went and did their investigating, and they brought so much back to me.
What did the police do when you? Because I have to assume
Men are so diabolical. They have something called romance fraud. Like, like that's a new term. Romance fraud is crazy. That's how diabolical men are. This woman met this man. She was targeted by this man. He stole her 401k, drained her of money, took so much money from her, so much of her time, so much of her life. Her daughter, you know what I mean, probably became attached to this man, like all types of stuff. He don't care. He's off gallivanting and, doing God knows what. He's a pastor now somewhere else, and he's free to do what he's doing. But this is I'm just really trying to figure out, like, how was she supposed to vet? Like, that's really all I'm trying to figure out is, like, how would she have known this beforehand? How would any of this have, come out beforehand? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand how we keep putting the onus on the victim and not the victimizer. That's all. Like, that's really, like, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. It's so disgusting how quick we are to blame victims and shame them. It's like, yeah, that's wild. But that man is dirty. That man is filthy. Hopefully he doesn't get another victim. But, we'll see.